was known as the Amir, if I'm not mistaken. Or he's one of the guys under the Amir. I haven't seen that movie in years, but he was an Israelite. He was a Moor, because it tells you in the movie how Christians and Moors got together. And who did they fight against? Ishmaelites. So they put their religious differences to the side, and they put their forces together and fought against them Arabs. All right. So that's like I said, that's another good movie. Another, like I said earlier, it's good to get into these period pieces and study the history. Learn some history, man. Jake don't like to get deep. Learn how to get deep. Okay. You got something to say? Oh, you got it. Okay. Yeah.
All right, this is Isaiah chapter 45, verse 14. Thus saith the Lord, the labor of Egypt and merchandise of Ethiopia and of the Sabians.
Sabians are Hamites. That's all I wanted. Okay?
Yeah, reading on. Now, I'll read this again. It says, history proves that before Islam came into existence, the Sabians in Arabia worshipped the moon god, who was married to the sun goddess. They gave birth to three goddesses who were called Alat, Aluza, and Manat. They became idols and were worshipped throughout that part of the world as daughters of Allah. Muhammad wanted to create his own religion. He needed the backing of his powerful tribe. He picked Allah, this is the same God that the Sabians were worshiping, which were Hamites. He picked Allah, the moon god, which they worshipped, to be the one God, and he declared himself to be Allah's prophet. Now, you'll notice one of the symbols of Islam is the crescent moon. It says the crescent moon symbol is everywhere in Islam. In 1950, this moon god was excavated at Hazor in Palestine. Now, this goes back to what Elder Tahar mentioned earlier about this. He didn't give you the name because he couldn't remember it, but it was the symbol of a guy sitting, and the image of a moon was on his chest.
Yeah, so I'm going to have him type it in and see what happens. Because I went through this a while back, and we did this back on 34th Street, and a brother, one of the brothers, have a book on that which shows the actual picture of the moon god. Now, the Ishmaelites got that. That's it right there. That's it. That's the actual article, okay? So I'm going to pass it back to the brother. So Esau is getting a break this week.
Yeah, we got to hash out this history. This is from the webpage Allah, the Moon God. The archaeology of the Middle East. The religion of Islam had its focus of worship a deity by the name of Allah. The Muslims claim that Allah is pre-Islamic times, that Allah in pre-Islamic times was the biblical God of the patriarchs, prophets, and apostles. The issue is thus one of continuity. Was Allah the biblical God or a pagan God in Arabia during pre-Islamic times? The Muslims' claim of continuity is essential to their attempt to convert Jews and Christians, for if Allah is part of the flow of divine revelation in Scripture, then it is the next step in biblical religion. Thus, we should all become Muslims. But on the other hand, if Allah was a pre-Islamic pagan deity, then its core claim is refuted. Let's see. Yeah, basically, when you'll see on the web page, you'll see they don't give the name, which is what we're looking for now, but you'll see the image with the crescent moon on its chest. Yeah, I don't see the name right now, which is what we're looking for. But you'll see just as important as the name is, you'll see the image of supposedly what Allah is, and it's an image of some guy sitting with a crescent moon on his chest. All right. If I go back to the book,
And you know what? Like you see the picture of that moon guy with the crescent moon on his chest. That's the same symbol that they have on what's called the monstrance in the Roman Catholic Church, which is the staff that they carry around the Eucharist with, and right underneath it you'll see the crescent moon. You know.
Yeah, the brother said his name was Hubal. Hubal. That's where you get the name for this satellite called the Hubble. The Hubble is from the word Hubal. So that Esau really worships these gods as well. All right.
We finally found the name. It's Hubal, and a few months ago, Elder Tahar did a lesson on that. I remember now. Hubal and Allah, the moon god. This is from another web page. Islam, Truth or Myth. Introduction to basic facts of history. Moon worship has been practiced in Arabia since 2000 BC. Now, we read the scripture in Isaiah, and it spoke about the Sabians. The Sabians also worshiped the moon because the Sabians were Hamites.
Let me say this here. That shows you that the religion of Islam goes back beyond 600 AD, but they just gave it another name. They packaged it differently. Okay?
Yeah, and that's what we found out really in our studies is all these so-called religions, they all go back to Babylon. And what happened was throughout the years when, you'd had some individual rise up and he'd proclaim a new religion, but then when you go into the religion, it was something from the past. It was all done over, And then you had usually the guy who was raised up, he had something with him called a cult of personality. He was something about him, people...
Brings to mind the movie Bamboozled by Spike Lee, and Spike Lee, you're going to have to get with us, all right? If you watch our videos, you're going to have to get with us so you can put this documentary together on Israel, because you want to be in line, because there's going to be a time where they're going to be knocking on our doors, man, trying to get answers. Trust me, okay? But anyway, Spike Lee had made a movie entitled Bamboozled, and in the movie, in the scene, almost at the end of the movie, you had the scene with a Mantan and Sleep and Eat. Mantan was played by Savion Glover, and Sleep and Eat was played by Tommy Davidson, right? And he said, I'm out of here. I'm rising up. I'm out of here. I'm not that picking any bullshit. I'm not with this no more. And then he basically said it's no different than slavery. He said, but just done all over again. Basically, it was rewrapped. All right. Then he acted like an old nigga slave. The spirit just jumped on him. He became an old nigga slave, and then he went back into being the regular nigga. Then he walked out the. You didn't see him no more in the film.
Yeah, and you notice they had to, what Elder Tahar said, you notice before they had to put that sitcom together, they had to create a personality. So they got them two guys, and one guy became Sleep and Eat, which was what? A personality. Then the other guy became Mantan, which was what? A personality. And then, it works every time with you Jakes, man. You felt like Obama. Obama is what? A personality. The international bankers created Obama. They created that personality.
Yeah, the international bankers, they said, what can we do to get these niggas? Our focal point is all these niggas, man. What's that guy, that black monkey, homosexual monkey? He went to Colombia. He was buddy with